Hey guys, last one here for chapter 3. I think we can get through what the rest of 3.2 and 3.3 entails without much of an issue. A couple of new issues that we get here. Let's talk a little bit more about the dotted rhythm thing. If I were to go with say a tune like London Bridge is Falling Down. Okay, so it's in 4/4. One of the notes look a lot more neat than this. And you probably know how the song goes. I'll play you a clip of this here in a second. And we don't even need much more than this to show that in 4/4, quarter, 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 half. London Bridge is Falling Down. You probably know the tune is. My Fair Lady, right? Well, you know, normally you don't sing that with what we call a straight rhythm. You know, that's all, quarter, 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 half. The London is falling is normally long shorted. We do a rhythmic device that instead of making this on the beat, the second one, we hold the first one a little bit longer and then do a little galloping kind of thing. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, we go 1 and 2 and 3, 4, long, short, long, short. In fact, swing is a little bit like that. Da 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 da. MUSC. You don't sing who's the leader of the band, who's made for you, and you long short it. London Bridge does this, and what happens is what was one each of a complete beat becomes, half of this note goes to this, and that's what the dot equals. The dot equals 50%, right, of the original note value added on. I'm just gonna write added, because man, the mouse writing isn't all that good. I'm still looking for a better mouse writer, and I haven't found it yet. I've searched a long time. So that's what the dot does here, right? And on, I think I can still get away with these notes here. Bring this, yeah, there we go. They're showing us here that the dotted half is really the equivalent of a half plus 50% of a half, which is a quarter. So good information, right? And as we said last time, 50% of a quarter would be an eighth, right? What dotted note would be an eighth plus a 16th? 16th being here, 50% of the eighth. Just draw the eighth, and the dot represents the additional 16th to it. Okay, you can even dot whole notes, that kind of thing. Good luck with the rest of that. Let's clear this and move down to the bottom of the page here. And we see, right, 4 whole notes, and then or whole rest and half rest. There's a little bit of a weird animal that the rests don't look a little bit more like the notes. How do they look? They look, get my pen here. Well, the whole rest is a little rectangle that is underneath the 4th line, and it's placed usually about in the center of the bar, left to right wise. And a hole is kind of like when you look at it as it exists underneath the line. It's like a hole that you would fall into. Right? Get it? Hole equals hole. And then half is more like a hat, like a top hat. Color that in. It's not that this line's part of the rest. It's just that rectangle sits on the middle line. Draw that quite well. Do that. If this were bigger, it would help. Quarter rest, zig, zag, zig, C, just like that. 1/8 inch is sort of a dot with a Q up to it slash. They look a bit different in script, in TypeScript, but we can draw them so that they look a little bit like this. Mine are quasi-neat. You can make yours neater than mine. And they're made with what's called a chisel point pen, a calligraphist pen. So they have gradation of line, as you see them in the real TypeScript. You can see that gradation of line just in these flags here, or even in the note head. See how the width of the line at certain points of the curve. It's a big deal with music notation. Follow each note with a corresponding rest of the same duration. Okay, so there's a half rest following a half note. We need an 1/8 rest following an 1/8 note. We get it like that, and so on and so forth. Let's go into worksheet 3.3. So clear this, and cursor, I go over here now. I see my worksheet 3.3, and it shows me that I want to write counts in beneath each rhythm. Put the counts that occur during sustained notes or rest in parentheses. Very important. And when you're clapping, for me to clap this rhythm, the half note just still sounds like a quick attack and then nothing. But if I'm playing like a chord, like a 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, rest, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I don't know if I can point while I'm doing that at the same time, but 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1, rest, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1. And notice, especially with this last note, you've got to hold out that note. I call it durating the note. So it's a big deal. Go up here and select the bend. Select the So 1, hold through 3. 1 and 2 and 3. And there's really an and held through there. They're not too particular about it there. Maybe they are. I just haven't done it. You can do that too. I just write the ands like that. If you want to write the ampersand, you just go right ahead. 1 and then rest, right? 2 and then 1, 2, and you're holding through 3. Right? It's a good idea to have, at least for Arabic numerals that represent the beats, or the front of the beats, to have all 3 of the numbers somewhere in this thing. For the 4/4, it'd be all 4 of them. 1, 2, and 3 is the way I'd perform it. 1, 2, and 3. And, so I'm not attacking again. I'm not hitting the front of a new note. Right? So I'm holding through 4 like that. With Lionel Richie, 3 times Lady. Now that we've come to the end of our, how are you going to count that? 1, 2, 3, and then that would be 1, 2. I'll let you do the rest of that. And onto the other part of 3.3. We go to Zigasa. Go to this cursor. Okay. The cursor. So another couple tunes where you do that in part B. Counting rhythms with half and 1/8 note beats. Oh, I see. So instead of 4/4, it's 4/2. Doesn't change the fact that there's still 4 beats in the bar. It's just that the note that gets 1 beat is no longer a quarter note. Because the 2's on the bottom, we know it's a half note. So there's the 4th beat, there's the 3rd beat, and there's the whole note that is 2 of those that are the 1st and 2nd beats. So every half note is a full beat. That shouldn't be anything to worry about, just something wild to get used to. Right, so I'm going to go 1 and then 2. Every note is twice as long looking as what what we had with 4/4. But it really could almost sound exactly the same as the same rhythm if it were notated in 4/4, and all the notes were half as long looking. Right? This is going to be the 8. Now the quarter note, get a load of this, is the half beat note, not a full beat note anymore. And when you're in 3/8, it looks even faster. Now the 16th note is the half beat note, and 2/16 almost the equivalent of an eighth, right? It's one beat. So there's the second beat, there's the third beat, you draw the bar line. Right? By the way, you're going to draw bar lines here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it gets down to being very particular. These are full beat notes now in 3/8. Why do we have these time signatures, such as something over 2 or something over 8, instead of a quarter note getting the beat? Well, they're not too common, it's true. And sometimes this gives a feeling of it being a little faster if it's like this. Or this is more of a plodding along ballad. Used in more ancient music, for sure. The rest of 3.2 asks the question, rewrite each of the following rhythms. On the line below it, in the new meter specified, the resulting rhythm should sound the same as the original. I can't stress how important it is to wrap your head around this activity. This is pretty important. What does this rhythm look like when it's cast in 3/2 instead of 3/4? It sounds in 3/4 like 1, 2, and 3, and 2, and 3, 1, 2, 1. Right? But here, it could sound exactly the same. It would just be notated with notes that look twice as long. 1, 2, and 3, and 2, and 3, 1, 2, 1. And what's that going to look like? Instead of an eighth rest, multiply an eighth by 2, and you get, you get an eighth, you get a quarter. So we have to stop and think about that every time we do it. So that quarter rest is there, and what was an eighth rest is now a quarter note, right? And what were eighth notes are now quarter notes. And what's a quarter is going to be a half. So there's the third beat note, 1 and 2, and yes, we do need to get stem and beam there. Oh, that's an eighth. No, it isn't. Wait a minute. You know what? I made a mistake. Actually, do not need the flags or the beams. These need to stay quarter notes to be half beat notes when you're in 3/2. It wasn't confusing enough. And what's crazy is this does sound exactly the same as this. And therefore the number of notes should be the same as you do this. You're replacing each note with a sort of an equivalent note per the new meter. That's a little bit crazy. Here, instead of going from a 4 to a 2, which is to fatter notes, we're going from 8 to 4. Oops, that's also to fatter notes. Let's do the other one. 2 to 4 means we're going to thinner notes. What is 2 half notes per bar? In other words, half note gets the single beat. Is 2 quarter notes now per bar. So each note will look like it's half as long as you go. So quarter becomes an eighth. It's all a twofold difference, right? What is a 1/4 note is now a 1/8 note. And that's what we have for you there. And good luck with Chapter 3. Chapter 4 is more subtleties on rhythm. And in a few days' time, we'll ask for it. You make an account of that. And more about how to perform these and some musicianship activities coming up. Have some fun with that.